Good morning everybody, good morning, it's JPR, and welcome back to another video. The post-game may not seem like much at first. I mean, who even cares about stuff that's literally an afterthought? But surprisingly, it goes a long way towards shaping people's thoughts about Pokemon games as a whole. Oftentimes, when I hear from people who say their favorite games are Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it's almost never for the main campaign. The reasoning, more often than not, is the post-game and how expansive it is compared to other titles. I guess it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise though. After all, for us more dedicated Pokemon fans who play these games for hundreds and hundreds of hours, most of that time is inevitably spent during the post-game. So let's break down every generation's post-game material to determine the best and the worst. By the way, this video idea was recommended to me by a user in the JPR Discord server, so if you ever want to extend a video idea or just chat with me and other Pokemon fans in general, make sure you join using the link in the description. That's definitely the best place to get in contact with me outside of Twitter, which I'm definitely on for an unhealthy amount of time. Starting off with the classic Generation 1 games, there's not really a post-game. Okay, to be fair, back then there was way more emphasis on the gotta catch 'em all aspect of the series. So basically the post-game was just that, catching any leftover Pokemon that you didn't already catch during your travels through Kanto. But of course, if you did keep up with your catching during the main story, then there's only one real thing to do here: catch Mewtwo. Which, given that he knows Recover, that could possibly take longer than Sun and Moon's entire post-game. I guess this doesn't really hold up as a post-game today, but I can't really call it the worst, can I? I mean, this was their first attempt at a game, and plus there's something oddly charming about the only goal being to catch every Pokemon. It reminds me of simpler times. Fire Red and Leaf Green do rectify this by making the post-game their primary area of concern. The Sevi Islands are pretty neat. It's like the game's take on the Orange Islands from the anime, though some of them can range from pretty dope to what's the point? But as a whole, I like the Sevi Islands, plus you can explore them in almost any order you like. Everything is kinda out there for you to discover on your own. There's basically zero hand-holding to it. If only the plot was something other than having to establish a training connection to Ruby and Sapphire, because restricting basic features is fun! But afterward, you do finally get access to Elite Four rematches, something that wasn't in the original games, and yes, Mewtwo is still there too. If you think I'm forgetting anything, just know that I probably mentioned it in the Fire Red and Leaf Green retrospective, if you catch my drift. Overall, pretty solid post-game. But then, Let's Go happened and said, screw all of that, you get Master Trainers now! Honestly, I don't remember much about Master Trainers because I just went straight to the Arcanine guy, beat him using nothing but Toxic and Protect, and then said, look at me guys, I'm the best Arcanine trainer ever, I totally deserve that! As some people probably had more fun with these than I did, I'm just not really a fan of the post-game consisting of nothing but repetitive battles. Although you do unlock Gym Leader rematches, Elite Four rematches, and fights against Red, Blue, and Leaf. I mean, Green? Wait, who are you? I don't know, I guess all that is cool, though I definitely enjoy it more if the nonsensicalness of the Let's Go timeline and how these characters fit in wasn't constantly swirling in my head. I'ma be real, I don't think this one holds up. It's definitely one of the weaker post-games, especially for 2018. Now let's move on to the Johto region's post-game, aka Kanto again. Yeah, it's one of the best. What more do you want me to say? It's literally a whole different region where you can complete the gyms in any order you like. This rocks. People who don't like this post-game are like people who don't like pizza. Like, what's wrong with you? Though of course, it's definitely just better in Heart Gold and Soul Silver since a lot of the scrapped locations are able to come back. They also adjust the level curve a bit to make the whole experience a lot more challenging this time around, which I greatly appreciated. And of course, regardless of whether you played the originals or the remakes, it all culminates in an epic battle against the legend himself, Red. The only time you'll ever get to fight yourself outside of your own brain. Ruby and Sapphire's post-game sucks, like straight up. It's the Battle Tower and like 2 legendaries. I was willing to forgive Red and Blue since it was their first attempt, but come on, this is Gen 3. You gotta do better than that. At the very least, Emerald throws in the whole battle frontier, which admittedly is another case of just way too many repetitive battles. But hey, at least you're working towards a goal of collecting all the frontier symbols while you're busy losing your mind. You can also catch both Groudon and Kyogre as part of the post-game, and like Red and Gold and Silver, this game does feature a final super boss in the form of Steven Stone. As for Oras, we do get the notable addition of the Delta episode, I've already talked about this and why I don't like it, don't make me repeat myself. We do lose the Battle Frontier for the Battle Maison, which is a pretty sizable downgrade, but there are some other opportunities to make up for it. Almost every legendary Pokemon can be obtained through these mysterious rings found across various locations. You can get starters from Johto, Scino, and Univ from Professor Birch. You can collect all the Mega Stones. You can get Elite Four rematches, which surprisingly weren't in Gen 3 at all. Though you do lose Gym Leader rematches from Emerald, which is a shame. As a whole, I'd say the Hoenn region's post-game content ranges from downright awful to passable at best. Pretty mid-tier, I would say. But fret not, for things turn around drastically in the Sinnoh region. This one is definitely going in the best category. Well, once you get past that annoying roadblock where you have to see every Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex before you can obtain the National Dex and start exploring. Like, guys, really? I didn't know I was supposed to find a Luminion. I didn't even know these things existed. It's stupid, it's dumb, but it's a temporary black eye on an otherwise great post-game. You get a whole new island to explore consisting of the Battle Frontier and Platinum, the Battleground with Gym Leader rematches, your own personal villa and relaxation spot, the Stark Mountain quest, and some of the best designed routes and music in the game. But even on mainland Sinnoh, there's plenty to do in the form of catching all the legendaries. And I mean brand new legendaries at the time, not repeats of past generations, though a few of those also get added in with Platinum. I'm giving this one a big ol' gold star. Also keeping it in the best category is both of the Univ region's post-games. Black and White 1 starts off with Looker arriving and giving you a mission to find all of the Team Plasma Sages, which, while it's the most story-driven part of the post-game, it doesn't make for more than a decent scavenger hunt. The bulk of the post-game comes in the form of exploring Eastern Univ, where you find out that whole old Pokemon don't live in Univ because it's too far away thing is complete bogus. It's pretty cool though, the Pokemon variety opens up a lot in the post-game, and for new players, these Pokemon might be completely new to them. And for old players, it just feels like a nice warm welcome home. The routes are long, the grinding doesn't feel too bad, and you might just stumble across some really neat areas and discoveries in the process. Plus, you get to return to the Pokemon League and fight Alder for the first time, since he was, preoccupied the first time you went there. And of course, the secret super boss returns in the form of Sinnoh champion Cynthia, who will make you think twice about opening the doors to any stranger's houses. I'm not gonna sit here and say this post-game is amazing, but it's definitely above average. And Black 2 and White 2 is even better. There's all the old areas of Univ you can revisit, you can battle Alder's grandson Benga, there's a heap of legendaries to catch, there's a story quest where you explore the remains of N's castle and catch his dragon. Are you kidding me? Cynthia is still there, as are Elite Four rematches, and come on, you knew this was coming, the Pokemon World Tournament, featuring every past gym leader and champion, except for Koga. This postgame literally has everything, except for Koga. Honestly, this postgame is super slept on. People don't talk enough about this one. This is up there with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's really good. Moving on to Pokemon X and Y, there is a little bit more here than most people give it credit for. There's a decent enough storyline here with Looker and his new assistant Emma. I think most people just forget about it because it's one of the few story-related post-game plots that doesn't lead you to a legendary Pokemon or any other major reward. You do get to battle against the highest level trainer in the game outside the Battle Chateau though, and she only has 2 Pokemon. It is X and Y. On top of that, you get access to Kyloud City, the Friend Safari, the Battle Maison, a final battle against Serena or Callum, and you're able to catch Zygarde, Mewtwo, and one of the legendary birds. Hey, I said there was more to this postgame than people remember, not that it was good. Like, yeah, it's bad, but it's not bad, you know? That being said, there aren't any Elite Four or Gym Leader rematches unless you go to the Battle Chateau, where most of them get leveled down and lose members on their team. What is wrong with this game? Well, at least having the 1 hour a day challenge to collect the Mega Stones is kinda cool, but you can always just change your 3DS clock to cheat. I hope you feel good about yourself, cheating in the easiest Pokemon game. Okay, I know I dunked on the Sun and Moon postgame earlier, but like, it's not the worst. There are a decent amount of collectible Z crystals and a fair amount of side quests to complete on every island. The main issue just lies in the story chapter where Looker and Annabelle just make you go around catching Ultra Beasts. It's not really that fun. I just feel like they could have done so much cooler stuff with the Ultra Beasts, and they just didn't. Like, these are literal aliens, and you just walk in the grass and find them like any other Pokemon. That's not cool. And then the only new area that you get to explore on the post-game is the eastern half of Pony Island, which, at least when you compare it to Eastern Univa, or the Battle Area, or the Sevi Islands, or all of Kanto, it's by far the smallest, unless you count Kyloud City, but at this point I just feel bad for Kalos more than anything. But at least Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon spices up the Alolan post-game by adding the Rainbow Rocket episode, probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a boss rush outside of the Elite Four, and all of these battles were pretty tough too. And the Ultra Beasts do get proper treatment here, as you can now ride through the Ultra Wormhole to find them in their home worlds. But they don't have any post-game story tied to them anymore. I paid $40 for this. Again, it's not a bad post-game, I just expected a little more, especially in an enhanced version. I'm putting Alola's at average, maybe a little higher for the Ultra games. Now we get to Sword and Shield's post-game. That was a pretty good joke. No, really, it's just these guys. Unless they patched my boy Gunner into the game, it's not good. Now, I suppose you could make an argument that the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra are the real post-game, but I'm not sure. Are post-game and $30 DLC really synonymous with each other? I mean, technically speaking, you can visit these places before you beat the game, though you can't actually explore the Crown Tundra unless you beat Peony and his level 70 team, so maybe... Nah, I'm not counting this. Plus, I've already done individual review videos on both parts of the DLC. Yeah, Swordward, Shieldbert, it's a bad post-game. There's like nothing to do here. Sorry, boys. Anyhow, those are my thoughts on every single post-game in Pokemon. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Next week is that big project video that I've been talking about for a while, so you don't want to miss that. Make absolutely sure you're subscribed and leave a like on this video as well. I'll see you guys next time.